Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and today we're going to be showing you a press conference that the mainstream media in this country is not going to show you, is not going to highlight, and is the epitome of what each of us now must do during the Great Resistance. And that is stand up to tyranny, stand up to tyranny, stand up to tyranny, no matter what. And this press conference is via Max Pub, the business in Staten Island that dare say, I am essential, I am an autonomous zone, and I will operate my business. And the tactics they have used against these patriots, these business owners, these people who have just said, you know what, we've had enough, are mafia-like. They are cartel-like. They are immoral. And they are utilizing law enforcement outside of their regular duties. And we're going to go over all of that. And that's what they're going to do. You see, when NYPD won't enforce something, or state troopers won't endorse something, or even sheriffs, the ones that you elect won't do something, they get the sheriff's deputies that have never done criminal law enforcement in that area. And eventually when they won't do it, they'll get the brown shirts, aka the contact tracers. That's why the contact tracers are being set up. They can deputize them. Okay? And what they did to this man and his partner is so utterly criminal, it makes me want to vomitas. Now, the irony is that so many of you out there have watched The Sopranos or Goodfellas or The Godfather, and you would think that the two men who are the lawyers, the defense lawyers, by the way, okay, supporting this man would be mafia, because you watch television and they look like them, they dress like them, and they talk like them. But guess what? The reality we've been all taught is flipped on its head and inverted. And these men are actually defending freedom, defending justice. So we're going to play the entire thing, start to finish, making commentary on it. But again, I believe that this is posted up nationally on Fox News. You look at the other microphones that are there, okay? Guess what? It's all local news. It's Spectrum One, because now Spectrum has dominated the market so much in New York State that they no longer carry many of the local stations, okay? If you want your local stations, you either have to get satellite, or you literally still have to have the rabbit ears, right? Or, obviously there's a lot more antennas out there, but you need an antenna, and obviously that means most of those are going to go under and have gone under. So they got Spectrum there. They got VOA, which I'm not, I think that's Voice of America News. You got CBS 2 and ABC 7. There's a couple other microphones, but they're all local. They're all local. This will be a 20, 30-second piece one time on the local news. It needs to be amplified more. It needs to be national news. These people are national heroes. So, before we get there, I do want to remind everybody I'm fully demonetized on the YouTube platform. $5, $10, $15, it means the world to me. Big donors, couldn't do it without you. We're almost 1 week in. Before the weekend, I'd really love to see that amount double, especially because it really does look like I'm going to be hitting the road in 2 days and booking hotels, maybe even today, to get down to D.C. and at least observe the Stop the Steal D.C. March gathering. Try to gain interviews for, as of yet, a project I'm not talking about publicly. Because, the hurdles to get it done are going to be so great that there's no point in really letting you guys in on it until it starts to form up. It comes to fruition. But it does look like now I am going to go to D.C. My back is still hurting. Nowhere near as yesterday. I think you could see how visibly uncomfortable I was doing videos yesterday. I canceled Mixed Martial Mindset because I didn't think I could sit there for the hour of it. I did a broadcast with Steve after taking a bunch of a leave and, resting a bit. It feels better today. I'm walking a little bit better today. So hopefully in 2 days I'm going to be fully back. Again, I didn't do anything. I'm just getting old and I need to exercise and I need to get my life together and I need to listen to John Fitch more. So again, the GoFundMe is how you can support the broadcast. If you're watching this on the replay and you're not joining us live, why? Join us live at 11 a.m. Monday through Friday exclusively on Rockfin. Live, free, and exclusive. Just go make the account. And then you can join us in the live chat. And on top of that, if they do deplatform me and take me off of YouTube, this is where you are going to find me. And I want to thank all the actual subscribers out there and all those that are using the tipping mechanism. Just so everybody understands, the tipping mechanism is very similar to the YouTube tipping mechanism in that they take about 28%. It still needs to get a little bit better where the tips are aligned so I can see them and go through them as we go through the broadcast. But I do get text messages on them. And you can tip out on videos that are not necessarily live. So that's also a cool feature that you cannot do on YouTube. Way to go, Rockfin. If you are watching this on YouTube or you're not subscribed over on YouTube, join the Burmese Brigade now. Thumbs this video up and share the content. Remember, all the documentary films are free in the playlist section. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade, the motion picture. Okay, without further ado, let's go to this press conference.
That just don't make sense to regular people. And we find out now that the first guy to stand up to the tyrants gets crushed. De Blasio and now Cuomo have told the people of Staten Island, New York City, and the country that if you speak up to the emperor, you get crushed. In the last week, just to give you a timeline, Lou Gelomino, one of the finest criminal defense attorneys around, and Mark Fonte, who represent Dan and Mac's Pub, Lou was charged with a misdemeanor for trying to be a lawyer. Our political leaders came here to try to stand up for the guys and the restaurants and the movement, and Andrew Lanza was nearly handcuffed in front of Mac's Pub for trying to stand with the people.
And Andrew Lanza, by the way, is a senator there.
The other night we found out that it was a political ambush. More details will come your way on what's happened, but it's a tale of two cities.
And just so people understand, it goes beyond just the ordinances and the demonization. There was a setup where, they staked this guy out like he was some kind of, like he's part of the cartel. All right. And then a physical encounter happens. And then they want to say that this guy somehow broke undercover cops' legs and all this utter horse shit. Okay. Trying to make business owners into demons. They want to kill grandma. They're bad. We need to stop them. Meanwhile, Cuomo can joke about how he and Fauci are the De Niro and Pacino team. Played that one live.
Walmart just announced they're paying $700 million in bonuses, and Staten Island restaurant owners are getting arrested 2 times in a week for trying to make $100. The ignorance is so high that on national television, they find it funny that small business owners are trying to feed their families while the millionaires sit in their perch. I'll say it again. If I thought anyone here intentionally tried to hurt a New York City police officer, I would never be standing before you. You're going to hear now from Lou Gelomino, who's the criminal defense attorney for Dan. He's also the attorney for the Staten Island Restaurant Association and Mac's Pub. This is a patriot I've known my whole life. He's put his name, his life, his business, his practice on the line to stand up for what's right and freedom. Lou's going to speak.
And by the way, a lot of you guys know I'm no fan of lawyers. Lawyer to me is synonymous with liar. These guys, he's right. He's putting it all on the line. You know how many lawyers? Let me tell you something. Even in upstate New York, my buddy who owns the pizzeria, one of the first things he did was contact his lawyer and nope, won't touch it. Find somebody else. Won't touch it. Find somebody else.
You're going to hear Dan's side of the story for now. And then Keith McElharney, the founder and owner of Max Pub, is going to give you his side of the story. So thank you all for coming. Lou Gelomino.
Thank you all. Myself, Lou Gelomino, and my partner, Mark Fonte, are representing Dan in his criminal matter and also Max Public House in their civil matters against the city. We've been standing up for small restaurant owners and small business owners in this city for the last 9 months, and we will continue to do so. Today, Dan is going to make a very, very short statement regarding his situation. Then Keith is going to make a statement regarding the pub, and then I will ask and take any questions for a short period of time. Thank you. Dan?
I have nothing but respect for the NYPD and other law enforcement. I think when you find at the end of the investigation, you will find that I did nothing wrong. Then I have nothing but respect for NYPD and other law enforcement.
No, the guy was totally and completely set up and made to look like a demon by Andrew Capo Cuomo and his nefarious tools. 100%.
Thanks for coming out today.
Morning. I'm Keith McElhonney, a lifelong Staten Islander. I have a fiance and 3 kids. We are a regular blue-collar family. Like every Irish kid, all I ever dreamed was opening my own pub. While other people were dreaming of being firemen or police officers, I always dreamed of being a bar owner. We worked hard pouring in our life savings, and after 3 months, we got shut down by an arbitrary set of rules. I respect COVID. I don't respect the corruption, overreach, and arbitrary color zones that are killing all my friends' establishments here and across the country.
And you know, this is a big point for me, that people just can't understand, or they don't want to. They want to use cognitive dissonance. They think they're better than you. They think they're smarter than you, okay? They listen to people that wear makeup and are in suits and go, science. They know a word. They say science, okay? And then those people will sit there and act like I'm the one that's being irresponsible, or I'm saying it doesn't exist when I've never said that. When that is not the point I'm trying to make. Because they can't combat the points I'm trying to make. They just go, well, that was debunked. That was fact-checked. The new one they keep trying to, put upon the people is that there are going to be 300,000 excess deaths in this country because of COVID. But if you look at the numbers, that seems to be, at this point, a statistical impossibility. In order for that to come even close, we would need 3.2 million, right around 3.2 million dead in this country this year. Okay, because right now you're looking at about 2.9 million on average over the last 5 years. But it's also been climbing in the range of like 40, 50, 60,000 each year. So how many more than we'll have the next year? Or how many more that we'll have on the average? My guess is going to be about 50 to 100K. Now, when that happens, these people that do mental gymnastics and can no longer think for themselves will just take some talking point that 300,000 people would have died if we didn't take the measures. And I'm still a bad person. And this guy's still a demon for wanting to, raise his family and keep his business open. And acknowledge that COVID is real and a problem.
The fact we are all come out here today, you will find that we are here because of Cuomo and de Blasio trying to crush the little man who dare to speak up. Many people's families continue to be hurt by the tyranny, and my prayers are with you with them all. But I will leave you with this. Political ambush will be figured out by our great attorneys. But as the owner and just a family man following the stream, this governor and mayor are not going to take my best friend and my pub. Out of respect to law and order, we will take the next few days to regroup. But I can assure the fight to reopen Max Public House and for the rest of small business owners will continue. The dream lives on. Thank you.
Why did you say something? Community activist Scott Lebedo.
This is a big fight, people. This is a huge fight, and it's about
the emperor, like John said, squashing the little man. It's not fair. Yes, the situation is ugly, but it is not fair what's happening to the small businesses. And I'm going to tell you right now, the famous lines of Captain Perry in the Battle of Lake Erie. Men, do not give up the ship, and we will not give up this ship.
Yeah.
Lou, question if I may.
First, I want to tell everybody I didn't use the word great when writing that to describe his attorneys, but thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question. With Danny's situation.
Yes.
Because when we first got here and talked to Keith, this was small business, standing up, fighting, trying to feed his family. Seems like it's devolved 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
What happened, if you could tell us? Because Danny said he did nothing wrong. The Sheriff's Department has given us a statement saying they tried to arrest him. He hit one of their deputies with his car. Deputy went up on the hood, has a broken leg. Is that a lie?
So do you hear that? You hear what they're trying to claim? These people are trying to set this guy up, saying they tried to arrest him and he hit them with his car and broke their leg. Now, I can't wait to see the video because they got some video.
The deputies do not have broken legs. That's an outright lie. One of the deputies injured his ankle. Either he tore a ligament or something. We still don't know the extent. But the fact that they lied and went out on a press release to all of you saying that he broke his legs is an outrageous, outright lie, completely confirmed.
So what happened? Did Danny hit him with a car?
All I can tell you is this. We have an investigation going on. We have 80% of it on video. Within the 4 minutes of Danny leaving this place, and from the time he was hauled away was 4 minutes, we have video of the end of it, almost 80% of it. At no time was there an ambulance on scene. At no time can you see an officer injured. They had 15 unmarked police cars.
15 unmarked police cars for somebody that wants to keep their bar open. And Ariel, thank you so much for that tip. Yes, I did see your email. I'm not sure when I'm going to be free. Obviously, taking off later in the week now for DC, and then I'll be gone for several days. But definitely make sure if I don't get back to you within a week that you get back to me in the following week. We really do appreciate that. But 14 unmarked police cars. Remember, we did a story in the middle of the day when a 2-year-old was ripped from a mother's arms, and a group of people had to stop him from taking the baby. And somebody had to use jujitsu. Jujitsu. Oh, please don't tell me that we just got shut down. Okay, good. We're going. Whew, I was so worried. He had to use jujitsu for a half an hour to hold him down. Are you listening? That's where we're really at in New York City. Cops can't, and then police never even showed up, by the way. What do you mean, Jason? What do you mean police didn't show up? They sent some other crew of mental health individuals, okay? But they got 14 cars for beer and cheeseburgers.
That came in, not police cars, let me rephrase that. Sheriff's deputies, unmarked cars. They came in, swept Danny away in 4 minutes, like he was Osama bin Laden in a CIA Black Ops. And in 4 minutes, you see nothing else on the scene. Not an officer, not a sheriff's deputy interviewing witnesses, not an ambulance, not an officer down. Ambulances never came to the scene. In 4 minutes, he walked and the scene was completely cleaned up. Like this was some type of CI Black Op operation.
The answer is why? Why'd they do this?
Over cheeseburgers? That's what it seems. It's over cheeseburgers and beer. Why would they do this? I have no idea. You know why they did this? Because they're not trained. In my life, NYPD makes arrests in this city when it comes to criminality. NYPD was not involved in this in the slightest. They want no part of it, either do the state troopers. The officers could have just approached him in front of the place the night before when he got arrested, or 2 nights before. Then he put out his hands and said, "Arrest me." I can tell you that's not the way it was effectuated here. It happened 2 blocks away, not in front of this building, on a dark street, where 2 big burly officers came out between a parked car from behind him and yelled, "Presty, hey Presty," and started running at him. That's what started the whole set of events. It wasn't two officers in uniforms waving their badges in front of them saying, hey, can we talk to you?
Do you understand what they did here? Do you get it? Do you see how they're mobilizing the police to not be in uniform, not announce they're there to get you, to look like thugs, then lie about you after the fact over beer and cheeseburgers? I love the way this guy's talking. Why is it all of a sudden a black op? Because now the secret police are your neighbors. They've turned them against you. And again, when the police think it's absurd, they find other police to do it, other types of law enforcement. That's why we need to reach out to our sheriffs now.
That's what started the whole events. And that's pretty much all on tape.
Did they have any markings on them that said police, or did Danny have any idea that these were officers or just crazy?
They clearly did not identify themselves as sheriff's officers. It's actually in the police complaint that was drawn up against Mr. Presti. You can read it yourselves.
You guys gonna release the video?
We will, after the investigation is complete, we'll release our video. We have about 80% of it on tape. We do not have the first 3 minutes or first minute and a half. We're looking for that video now.
Do you have when the deputy was injured?
We don't. We don't. We don't. I can tell you. The claims, we have investigated that part of it, and it was presented to us that he only hurt his ankle. I can assure people he did not break his legs, and I can tell you why. Because Mr. Presti was released with no bail. If he ran over a sheriff's deputy, they would have asked for $500,000 in bail.
Think about that too. But they'll put out a press release saying he broke legs. They release the guy with no bail because they also realize, oh my God, we're going to look terrible after this. My goodness.
The DA's office has been nothing but cooperative with us. I hope they will continue to be cooperative going forward. I'm sure they will.
Question. Do you consider the sheriff's deputies to be real cops? Do you see them as having an agenda?
I'm not going to disparage any law enforcement, but they certainly do not effectuate criminal arrests here in New York City. And like I said, the NYPD was nowhere to be found. In New York, I think the rest of America has to understand, in New York City, sheriff's deputies are not like the rest of the country. They're basically revenue collectors. And they do civil enforcement. They do not do criminal enforcement. Myself and my partner, Mark Fonte, have been practicing criminal law for over 40 years between us. We have never dealt with a sheriff's deputy in a criminal case. This is the first time.
Do you think they have an agenda against Max?
I think you can answer that question yourself.
Is Danny going to reopen? Keith going to reopen?
Well, I think out of respect for law and order and the respect for the fellow restaurant owners, and small business anywhere, we're going to take a step back for a couple days, regroup, and consider our options. But I certainly will tell you this: Danny and Keith are not giving up the fight on behalf of small business owners and Max Public House to reopen.
Talk to us about what happened before he left. So there's video that came out of Friday night, people inside the pub, not wearing masks, not social distancing. Talk to us about that, because obviously that was one of the reasons why.
Talk to us about that. They weren't wearing masks. They weren't social distancing in his restaurant, in his private business. I want to cry. You see how even the media, the local media that's covering it, is still going to try to demonize these guys that are having everything taken away from them, that have unmarked vehicles outside of their business, that are being, first of all, before, that incident of arrest, we're talking about $50,000+ in fines just coming through, fining the lawyers, giving the lawyers misdemeanors, telling them they're loitering in their own business. And now you've got this, they weren't social distancing, they weren't wearing masks.
Why they showed up.
Oh, Friday night, this didn't happen Friday night, it happened Saturday night.
Right.
Friday night, there were a bunch of people that wanted to celebrate the fact that Danny was released from prison. They came in, they were served, they were served food, there was drinking going on. However, you do not have to wear a mask in a restaurant. Maybe there was some lack of social distance and exuberance, but that's no reason to come in and send a hit squad of 20 unmarked cars to zoom him away in 3 minutes like he's Osama bin Laden.
This was brought up on Saturday Night Live by Colin Jones, and they said that the protests that they think Staten Islanders look like a bunch of babies.
I'm not gonna answer that. I think Mr. Tobacco should answer that. He's as a community activist.
You know, I'm not part of the legal team. I'm just someone who's concerned about watching our rights and freedoms get taken away from us. That's why I became friends with these guys. That's why I've been supporting them.
You know, again, you got these lawyers out there in their nice suits and their accents. And again, the TV would have you to believe those two guys are the mafia, right? They're the criminals. No, the government are the mafia. Whenever they utilize La Coca Nostra, or Cosa Nostra, I shouldn't say La Coca Nostra, that's a Cypress Hill album. Or they utilized gang members in MS-13. Those are low rung stuff, even at the top levels. All right, these are lawyers that are actually defending freedom. And the media is still going to try to make these guys out to be the bad guys. But they love when Andrew Capo Cuomo, jokes about being a pair of, actor gangsters in Pacino and De Niro with Anthony Fauci and his Faucian ways.
And I kind of almost feel like, the ignorance level is so high now that you have mega millionaires who are on the national spotlight, like the folks on Saturday Night Live. And instead of making fun of their friends and the local business owners who are broke and crushed and bankrupt, instead of coming down here as fellow Staten Islanders and standing up for them and bringing a positive light to this thing, what they want to do is go on national TV and try to humiliate the little man when he's down. And to me, that's quite disgusting. And as I mentioned before, my dad was a member of the NYPD. The king of Staten Island's dad was a proud fireman and a great friend of mine. And I saw Staten Islanders heavily come out and support him, his mom, his family, and everyone else in a time of need after 9/11 when I cried for his father. So when I hear stuff like this, it hits me emotionally when I think, wow, if you came out of your perch in your affluent neighborhood and came down here and told the liberal left this is a good thing because it's about our freedom and liberty, we probably wouldn't be standing here today talking about a political prisoner who was the victim of, in my view, a political ambush by the king and his henchmen.
And there's support plan tonight. We're hearing about a march, right?
We don't know about tonight. Right now, the guys are going to take a couple of minutes, step back, see what the next move is. What we do know is there's support everywhere. And when the emperor really wants to paint you badly, they try to kill your support with your own people. How do you do that? You paint them as a criminal. So you're watching it right before your eyes, folks, and you're going to find out that what you're seeing here in Staten Island, New York, is not America.
Well, it is America now. It's America with a triple K. It's the America that the predator class has envisioned for some time. It's the America we lost decades ago because we didn't stand up to the military-industrial complex that Eisenhower warned us about. It's the America that's developed because we, as a people in this country, refused to acknowledge who the real terrorists were during 9/11 and the war on terror. That's why we're here. This vision of America is a vision of the predator class, one where they will demonize regular working folks who have scraped, who have toiled for everything they have, and they want to take it away.
I'm going to address tonight, again, out of respect for the heat, out of respect for law enforcement and what's been going on, the organizers of the march have canceled it, and that was out of complete respect for law and order and what's been happening. And I'm going to address Saturday Night Live just a little bit. I just want everybody to know we had 2,000 people here in a peaceful, respectful rally. They actually cleaned up when they left. We had 50 to 100 people cleaning up the street when we left. Maybe Saturday Night Live should be mocking the people that looted and rioted and destroyed our great city of Manhattan and the rest of the great cities in this country.
And now I got to see this sketch because I haven't seen it yet. Maybe we're going to do a special on that. Maybe that's going to be tomorrow's Rockfin exclusive. And we'll break that down. Because, again, Saturday Night Live in the last 4 years has been weaponized against us. It's not really even that funny. Bill Burr did a pretty good job. You know, it has its moments. But now it's just a political diatribe. And again, you punch up. You punch up. Okay? Jimmy Dore does, great bits on this. You punch up. I'm just a whittle guy. It's very hard for me to punch down, right? But I never try to. Because I can barely I don't know if I can reach the chin of the Predator class. I might be literally leaping off a trampoline, punching up to get a body shot in. That's how far gone we are. Okay? And, they want to make fun of these people on Saturday Night Live. And just like he said, the trash in the city is tremendous, even without the looting and the rioting that occurred. And, we had that protest in Brooklyn on Sunday. Peaceful protest. People tried to disturb it. Had Cara Castronova on. She was a great guest. We're going to have her on again. People will continue to fight back, but we have to organize, and we have to decentralize, and we have to do it in every state, and we have to become the great resistance, period.
Anybody else?
Yeah, what do you think about other restaurant owners joining Danny's call to serve people inside and actually serving folks inside at this point?
Well, restaurant owners are frustrated and angry. I certainly support whatever decision they make, but I think each individual restaurant should make that on their own.
I really wanted to hear what Danny said. You couldn't hear it.
Yeah, we couldn't hear it.
That truck was going by with Danny.
So if we'll make Danny make his statement one more time, then I'll answer a couple more questions.
That's it, guys. Yeah, that's it. Wrap it up.
That's it.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks for coming, everyone. I have nothing but the utmost respect for the NYPD and law enforcement. I think when the investigation is complete, you're going to find out that I did nothing wrong. Again, we're just giving some time with the investigation, and that's why I'm referring all questions to the lawyer.
Thanks.
So, Lou, you said you have stepped back considering the options for the bar.
Yes.
Does that mean you're closing it for today into the next
The
few
bar will
days?
be closed for the next couple days. Again, out of respect for law enforcement. We appreciate the support from everybody.
Open the
Out of
bar!
respect for law enforcement, law and order, at least for a couple days.
Open the bar!
And then we'll regroup. But we don't intend to give up the fight at all.
Well, what do you have to say to people that say this is about COVID rates? You're in an orange zone, and this is
You're in an orange zone! Science! Science!
that this is what it's about, and that the bar should comply with the regulations.
Compliance! Comply, science!
Well, my response to that is very simple. If we can go a block and a half and get a cheeseburger, this place should be open. If you can show me science, my response to that is very simple. If you can go a block and a half and get a cheeseburger, which you can, okay, if anybody can show me science that the COVID virus stops at the railroad tracks, we'd be more than happy to shut down. Until then, we'd like the same consideration given to the other half of Staten Island and being able to serve out cheeseburgers and out beer here. By the way, like Mr. Tobacco just reminded me, there's thousands of people in the mall right now buying candles and Christmas presents for their friends and neighbors and family. And God bless them. They should. It's a great holiday. It's a blessing. All right. All we want to do is serve a cheeseburger and a beer in this restaurant. And 20 unmarked cars took him away for that reason.
We got a budget for that. We got a budget for taking your business out. And actually, another local business owner here has reached out to me. I got to have him on. Own 3 bubble teas here, 2 shut down permanently, 1 still left in the mall, which has basically been eviscerated. They had a shooting there. Okay, they had a shooting there. A bullet went into his wall. The health department shows up. He thinks they're there to talk about the bullet. No, they're there to talk about the non-masking and write him an ordinance. We're living in COVID 1984, everybody. That's the real deal, and you better believe it. Folks, If you like this video, please consider supporting me via the GoFundMe, $5, $10, $15. It absolutely means the world to me. And I want to thank Hog Fart S for that tip over there. Another great way to support me, again, is to make that Rockfin account. Okay, make the free account. Again, this is where we're going to be if we get deplatformed all the way. We do it live, 11 a.m., Monday through Friday. If you're watching it on the replay, thumbs it up, share, subscribe, join the Burmis Brigade, and remember to make that free Rockfin account. What are you waiting for? Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture are all free right here, right now. It is time to become the great resistance. This has nothing to do with left or right, everything to do with right and wrong. We must expose these cartels, the real cartels, not the phony ones that you see on the TV. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side.